Diet, or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
So much happening today while the DNC gets underway in Chicago, and they are boarding up the windows. Businesses not open for businesses, many of them in the city of Chicago. Quite a different look from when the RNC was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Am I right here? But, even their governor, billionaire Pritzker, he has called in the National Guard. They're on standby. They are so fearful of these pro-Palestinian, as they call them, protesters, but they're really anti-Israel, anti-Jewish. And there were about 1,000 of them. This is a major story in Philadelphia. Can you imagine if there were, let's just say there were 1,000 protesters ahead of the RNC who encircled Philadelphia City Hall right before the Republican National Convention, and they were all essentially protesting against Trump policies. Everybody across the board, national news, right, would be here and focus on that. They'd still be talking about it. What about all those did you see the huge crowd of anti-Trump protesters, and pick anything. But they weren't here, were they? And this is why bias by omission, why I focus on it so much for you, is that this is bias by omission. If the opposite were true, if these had been never Trumpers protesting in Philadelphia or anywhere, quite frankly, and here in Philadelphia over the weekend, these were protesters who are calling her Kamala Killer, who are shouting names, who are critical of the Biden-Harris policy because they want the current administration, who's been in power, it'll be, well over 3 years, well over 3.5 years, they want them to essentially defund Israel. Think about what that would mean if we would not send arms or protect Israel. Imagine what would happen. I mean, my God, they had hours the one day, and look at the damage they did and how nasty it was as they attacked October 7th by the hundreds, innocent, unarmed civilians. They started out with teenage and college-age kids and taking girls and ravaging them and doing horrible, unthinkable things, murdering people. But they murdered grandparents, babies, children. Again, innocent civilians. These were Hamas terrorists, armed from head to toe. And by the way, with body cameras, they were very proud of what they did. It's sick what they did October 7th. And to make this seem like this is some kind of an equal war or an ongoing war, no. This was a terrorist attack on innocent, unarmed civilians. They forget it, and the media won't report it that way. And let us remember, and I started out early this morning on Kale and Company reminding you of the fact that we still have hostages, among them children. Babies, children, who are hoped. I mean, the hope and the prayer is that they're still alive, but we're not sure. Allegedly, 111 some hostages are still alive. Let us not forget that, but everybody forgets it in the national media, and nobody seems to focus on it in the national media. Did you notice that? It's a sin, as I say. It's a sin. And so let's think about what's going on here in Philadelphia. And Pennsylvania, by the way, center stage. So while the Democrats are all in Chicago, deep blue Chicago, and while the businesses are boarding up, while the citizens don't feel safe, and while they have erected this huge, inflatable IUD that's just bizarre, and also the Wiener Circle, as they're calling it, giving out free vasectomies. So, hey, men, sign. And these are not, by the way, these are not men who are, in their early to mid 40s and they have a wife and 3 kids. That's not who's signing up. They're asking young men to sign up to never have children. and they're giving out free, I guess, abortion pills, which I thought you had to have a prescription for that. So I don't even understand how they could apparently have people sign up for or get free abortion pills. I didn't know that you could do that. I thought you needed some kind of prescription for it. It's not Plan B that they're giving out. It's actually allegedly abortion medication. I don't even understand that one. We'll have to wrap our brains around that one. But here in Pennsylvania, we have J.D. Vance, who will be in less than 2 hours, TikTok, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT with our own Dom Giordano. So J.D. Vance in Philadelphia. He's speaking from a manufacturer facility. So he will be here prior to that because that appearance starts at 1 o'clock in Philadelphia. So he'll be talking here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT to give a preview. But also we have Donald J. Trump in York, Pennsylvania. Did you know that? So we have that going on. A major new study, and I want to talk to you about your cholesterol levels because I don't have the high cholesterol. My husband does, Lair Bear. So we'll talk about that new study. It's a major new study, and it's really important that you take care of yourself. We'll get into that. And a couple new studies that are being buried, and we'll also get into the fact of the House report that has come out, and this is being buried as well. But what evidence do they actually have of alleged corruption within the current administration? And it begs the question, by the way, as the Democrats say bye-bye to Biden, as he will be honored at the DNC this evening, and they're all getting out their handkerchiefs and saying, oh, it's going to be emotional. We're going to praise Joe Biden. But did this report that's being buried, did this investigation, this probe into alleged corruption for Biden, is there something in it with teeth that maybe is another reason that they wanted to get rid of Joe? Another question I have for you, 855-839-1210. So much happening as the spin cycle for sure is going on. I love that Peter Doocy had pointed out, and this was, I love this report. It's just a tiny little report, but Peter Doocy, obviously covering the DNC in Chicago for Fox, our very own Rich Cioli, starting at 3 o'clock. And maybe Rich will call in if he has time. Obviously, it's 9. Remember that we're on Eastern Standard Time, so it's 10:08 here in Philadelphia. In Chicago, it's 9:08 because remember, there's a time change. So maybe Richie, as his mom calls him, Mama Zioli calls him, maybe he'll call in for us and give us a preview of his great Rich Zioli show. But he's live from the DNC. But I think Peter Doocy, that was astute of him to point out that at least for day one on the interior of the DNC, you don't see any signage that says Harris Walls for Vice President Harris, who is the presumptive nominee. Oh, we do have Jeff? Thank you. Okay, great. Jeff Bartos is, I know that Jeff, I had talked to Friday, was going to call in, and our own Jeff Bartos, who called in from the RNC. Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for being here this morning.
Oh, gosh, Dawn, I'm very happy to be here. I'm actually sitting outside the J.D. Vance event. As soon as we finish, I'm going to go in and looking forward to seeing Senator Vance, our future vice president, in a couple of hours. So thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So, you know, I find it interesting, and I think it's a good look for the Trump campaign that you have Donald Trump. Will be in York, Pennsylvania today, campaigning this afternoon. J.D. Vance here in Philadelphia. So J.D. Vance, once again, not shying away from, I say in air quotes, blue Philadelphia. Why do you think that is?
Well, Pennsylvania is the critical win. So looking just at the electoral map, win Pennsylvania, I think I know that President Trump said this on Saturday, win Pennsylvania, win the whole thing. And I give a lot of credit to the Trump campaign and to President Trump and Senator Vance for making not only Pennsylvania, but the southeastern part of the state in Philadelphia such an important part of their campaign. President Trump was here just in June. Senator Vance has been here twice in 2 weeks, and I suspect he'll be back many more times. I believe, I've said this for over a year, that the votes in the collar counties and even in Philadelphia are going to ultimately determine how this race goes, and look forward to celebrating a big win for the Trump campaign on November 6th. Well, on November 5th late at night.
So Jeff, I know that you had some news, and it really plays into what I started out when I was talking about and reporting this morning on Kale and Company, and now here on the Dolan Show starting at 10. But this report that we had around Philadelphia City Hall, these anti-Jewish, anti-Israel protesters who were here in Philadelphia around City Hall, but also outside the DNC, we have all of these different groups who are seen, certainly by many in the Jewish community, as anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, and are pushing for Kamala Harris and the Harris-Biden administration, right as we speak, for Israel to disarm. So what do you think, as somebody who's looking at the Jewish vote here in Pennsylvania or across the nation, how do you think this impacts the Jewish vote in America? Go ahead.
Well, we're seeing it in polling already. In New York, I believe the last poll I saw had the Jewish vote 50-50 in the state of New York, not Florida, New York, which is, I can't remember the last time a Republican won New York. And so the Jewish vote here in Pennsylvania is going to be critical. The last poll I saw had northwards 40% support for President Trump, and we're still 79 days out. To put that in reference, Dawn, typically you'd see 75-25 Democrat, Republican in sort of a generic presidential year, or frankly any off year or midterm election as well. I want to say also, you made the point, anti-Israel, anti-Jewish. I would say these protesters, if we can even call them protesters, they're anarchists, they're paid activists. They are the beating heart, sadly, of the Democrat Party right now. They are also, first and foremost, anti-America. And so the contrast in this election couldn't be clearer. President Trump, who believes and governed with this great Reagan-esque philosophy of peace through strength, adding to that common sense, the most pro-Israel, pro-U.S.-Israel relationship president in the history of the United States, whether we look at terminating the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, the Abraham Accords, moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, recognizing Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Time and again, President Trump had a vision for peace through strength and peace in the Middle East. And the contrast of that, the Biden-Harris administration has been the most disastrous presidency in the modern times for peace and stability. Look at the Middle East right now on fire. Mm-hmm. That is a direct result of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's philosophy. And you're seeing it play out in the DNC right now, right? Chicago, we will see they govern the way they run their convention, which what I mean by that is they appease the worst, most dangerous anarchist elements of their party, anti-Israel, anti-America. They appease them, and they govern through chaos. The convention will be a snapshot of their governing philosophy, which is appeasement and chaos.
When I think about Trump Force 47 here in Pennsylvania, and Jeff, you've talked about this, that Pennsylvania is critical. How much does it play into the minds, do you think, of Jewish American and Jewish Pennsylvanians, voters in particular, that Josh Shapiro got the snub? I called it the Pennsylvania Passover. And there are many who I've talked to who say, you know what, it was anti-Semitic. They didn't choose him because they were afraid of what these very protesters who we saw outside City Hall yesterday, what they'll think.
Well, the last time you and I spoke on the air, it was the morning after that incredible night at the RNC where I think, as I mentioned on the air, and you and I have spoken about since then, the parents of Omer Nutra, an American held hostage now for 318 days in Gaza. The president and the vice president, Harris and Biden, can barely even discuss their names, mention their names. Those parents walked out to a 10,000 plus delegates and guests chanting, "Bring them home." The love that was emanating from the floor of the convention for our fellow American and fellow Americans who were being held hostage, that incredible support, not only for our ally Israel, but for these Americans who've been held hostage for over 300 days. Shabbos Kestenbaum, the Harvard student, spoke so eloquently that night, and he was with President Trump in Bedminster just last Thursday when they launched Jewish Voices for Trump. To contrast with where the Republican Party is today and where the Democrats are, passing over, I love that, by the way, the Pennsylvania Passover. What a great line. Passing over a popular Jewish governor here in the Commonwealth in a must-win state. I try not to get emotional about these things, but I was emotionally moved by that, not in a good way. And I know many of my friends, I talked to Cheryl's friends. That's a great focus group for me, my wife's friends. they were angry. They were sad. More than angry, they were sad. They felt so many people since October 7th have felt abandoned, and these groups that they thought were their friends or quote unquote, as the left likes to say, their allies, they just feel abandoned. The attitude seems to be, well, not the attitude. The way they look at it is, I marched for them when X. I marched for them when Y. I posted this. And when I need friends and allies, I've been abandoned. I think it was just another kick in the stomach by the Democrats. And it's left a lot of people not only wringing their hands and feeling sad, but I think looking for a place to put that energy into action. And you mentioned it before, Trump Force 47, all the work we're going to be doing to engage at the grassroots, on the ground, getting people to vote, getting them out to vote. I believe we can win the Jewish vote here in Pennsylvania for President Trump. I believe President Trump is going to win. I know President Trump is going to win Pennsylvania and become the 47th president of the United States. And I can't speak for every Jewish voter, but I'll speak for everyone I'm working with. We are committed day and night for the next 79 days and beyond, if necessary, to make sure that President Trump is elected president.
Yeah, and part of it, and I know you had retweeted or re-X'd one of these, and that was the pro-Hamas protesters. They broke in, climbed onto the stage at the DNC, for breaking in for the welcome party. But this is something where I think even the courts had tried to keep these protesters, tried at the DNC to keep that imagery away. And I don't think they will be able to. What impact does that have? You're talking about this, Jeff, as far as, number one, we have delicate negotiations going on. We still have hostages over there. That's not being reported. Even still children who are being, at least 2 children that I know of, they're being held among the 111. 39 are believed to be dead. What about the fate of the rest? The mainstream media, as I so-called, is not even reporting on that. And then when you see these anti-Jewish, anti-Israel protesters, mobs of them surrounding the DNC, does not this administration, the Biden-Harris administration, have to own it?
They own it, and worse than that, they've welcomed it.
Yeah.
I watched an interview this morning on X. I watched an interview this morning where they're always wearing a mask and a keffiyeh, right? Because their views are so mainstream that they hide their identities. These cowards. An interview where they said, "Well, Vice President Harris, we're hopeful because she's shown movement, she's shown understanding, and we believe she will move to banning weapon sales to Israel." This is what one of the I guess they call them unaligned, right? Yeah. Is that they're uncommitted. So the uncommitted group out there, that's the beating heart of the Democrats right now. They own it. Not only do they own it, but they welcome it, the Democrats. They're welcoming this chaos. They're welcoming this anti-America, anti-Israel, anti-Western civilization anarchists into their tent. And this is the beating heart of today's Democrat Party. This is not good for America. I'm a Republican. I want Republicans to win. This is not good for America when one of our major parties is making common cause with the people who mean to tear down and destroy everything that makes this country and Western civilization special. Every American should be concerned about this, and Jewish Americans are looking around saying, this is terrifying. And worse, Don, we've seen this before, right? We've seen this before in Germany in the 1930s. We've seen it in Tsarist Russia. We've seen it we can go back thousands of years. We've seen this time and again. I don't want to be alarmist, but I'm not the only one of my friends who looks around and says, we are at, I had a conference call yesterday. This is an existential moment for Jewish Americans, and never forget, we're the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
They come for the Jews first, but then they're coming for the next group and the next group and the next group. Yeah. So we have to win this election. We have to stop this lunacy. And if I can put a plug in for good, simple legislation that people should be advocating for here in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, the idea that people can wear masks at protests has run its course. This needs to stop. It is insane.
Amen.
Nassau County, New York just passed an ordinance banning it. The city of New York is there's now a bill in front of city council. This is something that all freedom-loving Americans who want to continue to go to work and go to restaurants and live their lives. They should be pushing their elected officials at the local and state level to ban the wearing of masks at protests. This is a clear and present danger to the safety and security of all of our fellow Pennsylvanians.
I want to ask you something. I always look around, what are we missing? So as far as, Republicans, the GOP saying we are the broader tent. We're about really this is a one-term solution, right? Kamala Harris she could run for president. If she wins this time, she could be in the White House. I shudder to think this, but she could be here 8 years. Trump is saying, you're voting for me for 4 years. It's one term, and so you're voting for the future. And when I think like that, then I think, okay, looking around this morning, we had talked in Kale and Company about the Bush family. I think of George P. Bush. I know he's been actively putting on X and social media in support of Trump. He's supported Trump in the past. Who is the RNC, the Republican Party, who are they missing as far as out on the campaign trail? We've heard Tulsi Gabbard is going to be out she's advising Trump, etc. But who else or what else would be a convincing factor out on the campaign trail?
I don't know if we're missing anyone. I mean, I look around over the last 10 years or so. I've gotten to know, I think, almost everyone who ran for president in the last two cycles, last three cycles. We have amazing Republicans across the country, north to south, east to west. So I think I don't know if we're missing anyone. I mean, personally, speaking from my U.S.-Israel relationship hat, Nikki Haley was an incredible UN ambassador, and she's beloved by the people who believe in a strong U.S.-Israel relationship and a robust U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East as a beacon of hope and strength and peace. Otherwise, Russia and China come in. So clearly, she has a voice. And I heard, I guess I was listening to an interview where President Trump talked about this on Thursday, and during his press conference, he talked about, sure, of course, we'd love to have Nikki out there. So,
do you think she will be?
But yeah, I'm sure as this race goes on, it's going to be all hands on deck. But at the end of the day, Dawn, I think it's the work that you do, that Rich does, that Dom does, that Kathy does, others do. Like, you're speaking to voters, and it engages our voters and our citizens on a daily basis with the news that they're not getting through the mainstream media, and hopefully they're sharing that with their friends and neighbors, and most importantly, dragging 10 more people to vote, either in early voting. I plan to vote early. Cheryl will vote early. Our girls will vote early. However, people are going to vote by mail, whether they vote in person. But having a plan to vote and voting is the most important thing that people can do. I really think that cuts the work that, and I'm not trying to blow sunshine here, the work that you and all of our great hosts at WPHT do, like that, engaging citizens and voters, and then inspiring people to get out and vote, register to vote, sign up for Trump Force 47, register at Jewish Voices. Jewish Voice. Yeah, Protect the Vote. Jewish Voices for Trump. I mean, there's a whole website dedicated to just Google or whatever search engine people want to use. Jewish Voices for Trump at donaldjtrump.com. Sign up, help us. I mean, I think it's going to be decided at the grassroots what we as citizens do here in the Commonwealth from now through November 5th. I really think that's and knowing that, and this is terrifying, the Islamic Republic of Iran, which is the head of the octopus, right? They are the evil entity in the Middle East. They are actively supporting Kamala Harris. They are hacking President Trump's campaign website. They are hacking President Trump's campaign. They are absolutely spending money on influence ads. They are paying for some of these protests that we see in our cities and on our campuses. So if people need another reason to get excited and get out there and vote, know that the Islamic Republic of Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terror, is actively helping Kamala Harris's campaign, which tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's scary. Well, Jeff Bartos, until next time, my friend, I know you're going to have a great event here in Philadelphia with J.D. Vance, who's going to be interviewed by Dom right at noon sharp, because obviously he's got to get out of there and get to the 1 o'clock event where you are. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Dawn, thank you for having me on, and to all your listeners, thank you for everything that everyone is doing. Be well, and look forward to speaking with you soon.
Back at you. Until next time, Jeff Bartos. And you know Jeff, he ran for Senate here in Pennsylvania, knows the campaign trail very well, wife and family here, just a great guy and a great advocate for DJT, Donald J. Trump and the Trump Force 47, which, remember, had been complimented even by some more kind of left-leaning media groups who had said, hey, good job as far as the ground game for Republicans this time around. And in part, that's part of the work that somebody like Jeff is doing. 855-839-1210. We'll get to some audio. We've got J.D. Vance. We have so much more, and as well some news out of the DNC. We'll take your calls, 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home to fix your unit and he wanted to sell you all types of upgrades? Look, if your AC unit is acting unruly this summer and needs to be fixed, we'll send out one of our technicians to do one thing: fix your AC. And if we do think you need a new one, we'll have one of our factory-trained install teams put in a new state-of-the-art train cooling system to keep you cool. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinecans.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you constantly searching for an extra energy boost? As we age, our bodies produce less of the natural fuel needed to combat fatigue. Discover Rescue Orosine. From Rescue Natural Supplements, Rescue Orosine helps enhance energy production at the cellular level, supports a healthy heart, and maintains optimal blood pressure. Plus, right now, our exclusive radio listeners can take advantage of a special offer. Buy one bottle of Orosine, get another completely free. All that you have to do is use the code FUEL when placing your order. To place an order, visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE. Again, that's 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Remember, use that code FUEL at checkout. Again, mention the code FUEL when you call or use it at res-q.com to get that second bottle of energy-boosting Rescue Orosine totally free.
Fantasy freaks and geeks, what's cracking? It's your boy James Koh, back with my brand new project, the Sleeper King Football Podcast. Look, I get it, okay? There's a lot of fantasy pods out there, but we're going to keep this one light, 15 to 20 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week, and man, we are going to pack it with all the info you need. Season-long, weekly projections, and of course, sleepers. Follow and listen to the Sleeper King Football Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt. debt?
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-649-6464 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. 800-649-6464. That's 800-649-6464.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
What happens when Washington liberals spend trillions of dollars? Just look around. Prices are way up. They pushed a bunch of reckless spending, and Senator Bob Casey voted for it. Now we're paying higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, and higher utility bills. Casey helped create this mess by voting with President Biden 98% of the time, including voting for trillions in wasteful spending. Instead of listening to the warnings, Senator Casey sided with the liberals, causing this inflation disaster. Casey voted to let illegals take your tax dollars. He voted to let illegals collect $500 million in COVID relief checks. It's more for illegals and less for us. Come on, Senator Casey. That's just not right. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, OneNationAmerica.org.
New Jeeps from $269 a month at TurnersvilleJeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at TurnersvilleJeep.com. 2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month. 7,500 miles closed-in lease, 39 months with $2,269 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tax extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 doc fee. Ends 8/31/24.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield. My great friend Roy is looking for help. A handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. Great low-pressure part-time job. Customer service is the key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. Be part of the team. They power it, they light it, they fix it. Roy says tell them all the time, we fix things, phones and all of that. Give them a call at 856-638-0778. Batteries Plus Bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
If it's been a minute since you've considered an Infiniti, well, it's time to take another look. Head over to Infiniti of Westchester today and secure rates as low as 4.99% on Infiniti certified pre-owned models. And this month, take advantage of amazing offers on new Infinitis during our end of summer event. Don't wait. Visit us in-store at Infiniti of Westchester today or visit us online at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So all the developing stories here in Pennsylvania, really the focus with J.D. Vance here in Philadelphia, but Trump holding a rally right here in Pennsylvania in York, PA, this afternoon. So we're live, we're local, we'll have it all for you, of course. Dom Giordano with J.D. Vance right at noon. And then, remember, my friend, Rich Scioli will be in Chicago. I'm happy for him to be at the DNC and to be in Chicago, but on the other hand, what a hot mess for sure to be in the middle of. So that's a shame. There's news this morning. Phil Donahue, remember, pioneering daytime talk show guy, his family has announced that he has passed away. He was 88 years old, and his family has confirmed that. His wife, of course, I had interviewed her at one point. She was that girl, and her book was From That Girl to This Woman, and she's just darling. I love her raspy voice. But Phil Donahue, who's pioneering daytime talk show, of course, launched, and really he was pre-Oprah Winfrey, pre-Montel Williams, pre-Ellen DeGeneres. He was somebody who had that great talk show format, and I think opened the door to a new kind of talk show, if you will. So his family confirming that. So he was 88 years young, Phil Donahue in the Phil Donahue Show. But he was known as somebody who his format was set apart from other types of interview shows and he was considered a real trendsetter in daytime TV and very popular with those female audiences. Oh, talking about the influential female audience. But Marlo Thomas, his wife, what a cutie. She's very petite and just adorable. So I'm sad for their family, but he lived a very long, legendary life for sure, 88 years young. So Phil Donahue, that news breaking this morning. So let me take you back to Pennsylvania real quick here. Former President Donald J. Trump making his trip to York, Pennsylvania today, and he'll be speaking at a Precision Custom Components company today. So coordinated between JD Vance. What did I say earlier? He's speaking at a parts type manufacturing facility in North Philadelphia today. Trump addressing the economy, talking about inflation at the manufacturing facility where he is in York, and then JD Vance expected to mirror that. But Trump planning to talk about ending inflation, implementing policies to help workers, and making the country the dominant energy producer in the world, that from the Trump Force 47 camp. So he'll be visiting. This visit is central Pennsylvania. And, of course, he was in Luzerne County over the weekend on Saturday. We had some audio earlier, and we'll have that as well. I think this might be the first rally in York, PA, I think, since the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. And we have some news regarding the family of Corey Comparator that we'll bring to you earlier as well. But Trump has promised, of course, to eliminate the tax on tips and to make sure that your Social Security, your money that you've already paid taxes, you're working, you're now receiving Social Security, you shouldn't be taxed on it again. But the Trump York rally is this afternoon, 3 p.m. JD Vance, his rally expected to begin 1 p.m., just to give you the time set for this. And by the way, this is the first day of school in the York City School District. And so if you think about it, I saw a note because I was looking at the York news, and they were saying, hey, Trump is expected to speak right at 3 p.m. at that Precision Custom Components manufacturing facility right when the school will be getting out. So they were doing some coordination. But you think about some areas in the country and here in Pennsylvania who are already back to school. I know Penn State, a lot of colleges get back to school starting on Monday. And then a lot of area schools also won't be until after Labor Day. So just looking at back to school, back to reality, and back to school shopping. So I would ask you, if you have kids, have you done your back to school shopping yet? I haven't completely done it. I got David some khaki pants at Macy's. Everything's way more expensive. But sports equipment, especially for David, is now my youngest teenager. He's now a size 14 shoe. So you're not finding that on sale. You're lucky if you find a size 14 at all. And so that's always a problem. You're paying the premium prices for if you have the big and tall teenager who's and then you're feeding them on top of it. Oy, oy, oy. So we're certainly feeling the effects of Bidenomics, not in a good way. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. We have, is it Gordon in South Jersey? Hey, Gordon.
Hi, Dawn. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, every early morning, Trump does multiple crazy and insane social media posts, dozens and dozens at like 3 and 4 a.m. You never talk about them. Is that because they display how unfit for office he is? Because Trump's insanity has been normalized and that him saying insane crap is no longer newsworthy? Or is it simply just both of those things?
Thank you for calling, and I'm always respectful, as you know, and I'm not one of those hosts who wants to engage and argue or anything of that nature. I think that I did see Trump this morning on True Social and maybe on X, and I think I actually reposted some of them. I didn't see anything that was insane. He was actually talking about, Trump Force 47, talking about the economy, talking about inflation. There was a retweet. Well, that was the Trump War Room, maybe not Trump personally. It said that Harris was telling a Pennsylvania football team, "You will be undefeated even if you don't win every game." I have to think that one through. But there was one thing that I had reposted on social media, and it was somebody who was talking about exactly what that caller was saying, was that you see this, I see that. And so obviously it's a choice. If you want to focus on what you think is insane, right? To me, the definition of, if you want to refer to the word insane, to me, the definition of, insanity is claiming that on, quote, day one, you will deal with inflation, or you will deal with all these different problems we're facing, and yet you've been in office nearly 4 years. To me, that's insane. That's cray-cray, if you will. And I'm not disrespectful, as you know, to anybody. If you want to call and if you are one of those Republicans who Greg Stocker believes is a hardcore Republican who is not going to vote for Trump and maybe won't vote at all or will vote down ticket but not for Trump, I would love to hear from you, and I would love to hear your rationale. 855-839-1210. And I promise, I will be as respectful as to you as to the last caller who just wanted to get on and say something nasty but not talk about policy. For me, I don't really want to talk about anything else other than how is a one-term Trump, and that's what this is. So this is DJT saying, I want to get into office and I want to steer this ship and steer this country away from a disastrous economic situation, and as well steer away from what we got a taste of with regards to international policy. It's important to understand that when Benjamin Netanyahu, I cannot emphasize this enough to you, when Benjamin Netanyahu was here, this is our most critical ally in the Middle East, okay, Israel. And when he was here, Kamala Harris, our vice president of the United States of America, blew off a meeting until later that week and claimed that there was some meeting with some, sorority appearance with sorority members in, I believe, Michigan. Then there were reports from the Netanyahu people that actually the meeting with Joe Biden was much more productive than the meeting with Harris, and that in fact, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, was surprised, and his people were, quote unquote, surprised by the fact that Kamala Harris took it upon herself to hold a news conference and speak out and say that she was urging Netanyahu to cut a deal with Hamas. And why was that not a good look? And why was that sort of a rookie move? And even the Biden people were cringing because it was a rookie move. Because during a delicate negotiation, you saw Biden very careful as to what he or his administration said after that Netanyahu meeting. That was a private meeting. These are very delicate negotiations, and you want to be careful when you are trying to bring, in particular, this incendiary group together. And that was something that Trump, I will remind you, did very successfully as far as the Abraham Accords. He got that done, and then it was undone by this current administration. She is a rookie when it comes to international talks and relations. And look at how critical a point we are. We've got China, we've got Russia, we've got Ukraine. Remember, we had the Biden administration rushing last week, by sea, by air, some of our, our warship, an important warship. Remember this, the Abraham Lincoln. I told you I'd reported all of this to you, but rushing to the Middle East because of the incendiary situation that is not looking good for that peace accord. We all want peace in the Middle East. We all want and pray for those hostages. I hear you, Jimmy. We all hope and pray for those hostages who have been held, who were kidnapped and taken by force. Those civilians, including 2 young children. We hope and pray for their safe return. They were kidnapped October 7th. But Kamala Harris is too much of a rookie to even think about them when she's meeting with Netanyahu or, God forbid, speaking publicly afterwards. So you can say all you want about the stuff that, and you saw me, if you were watching YouTube this morning, you saw me like when they aired a long clip of Trump and he was at a rally over the weekend. I'm like, oh, because he goes on and on and on about things that don't matter, right? But when it matters, he's zipping it and he's disciplined. And that's the difference. So when he's talking about, I beat Nikki Haley, I beat her in her home state, whatever he said, okay, that doesn't really matter in the scheme of the world, to be honest. But when it comes down to talking about, let's say, relations with our foreign relations and peace in the world, when we're talking about Russia, Ukraine, or the Middle East, you don't hear Trump making those moves and saying those stupid things that really matter. Kamala Harris did. And even the Biden administration cringing at that. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Do your research. Look it up for yourself, because it's important that you are a well-educated voter and that you understand all of these issues and the importance therein. So there it is. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. When it comes to your home, I think there's no place like home, right? Trust, when you bring somebody in to fix something in your home, trust is everything. Which brings me to Kitchen Magic. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation, and I might add their reputation is impeccable, for transforming kitchens with precision and care, from things like custom cabinets to countertops to backsplashes. What about storage solutions? Kitchen Magic gets the job done fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes reality, and without all the hassle. So trust the name that your neighbors have relied on for decades, Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation. Go to kitchenmagic.com, kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. Let them know at kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
My dad, Len, always says, the minute you get in a car, everyone, front and back, should buckle up.
And my son Jordan always says, the minute you get in a car accident, first seek medical attention and then call us. This is Len Lundy.
And I'm Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. My dad and I hope you never meet us because of an accident. But if you do, we're here for you.
Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyer.
Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a seventh-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
When their world isn't safe, they need someone to notice, to wonder and worry, to be their voice. If you suspect child abuse in any way, report it. You can be their hero. Your call can change their world.
Report suspected abuse by calling 1-800-932-0313 or visit keepkidsafe.pa.gov for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Don Stensland, weekdays 10 till noon, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
So we've got Trump in Pennsylvania again today. We've got J.D. Vance here. We got a lot of news, and we have some important medical news to cover. 855-839-1210. I'll try to quickly get to some of your calls. Hey, we have Trent in Bucks County area. Hey, Trent.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Trent.
Yeah, hey, that prior caller referred to all those insane Trump social media postings, and you kind of just dismissed them as normal.
Which one? What does it say? Today?
He compared himself to Lincoln. He attacked people. He threatened people. He posted AI pics of fake Taylor Swift stuff. And then he also posted, if you're a woman, you can either vote for Trump or wait until one of these monsters goes after you or your daughter. And he shows a picture of a bunch of migrant men. I mean, that's totally normal stuff, don't you think?
Well, I will say, as far as, remember, he attended and was invited to the funerals of some of the young girls who were murdered by illegals who came in. And then, unfortunately, they had the ankle bracelet or whatever. So he was with Laken Riley's family, for example. I think he's allowed, when you're with a family whose daughter was brutally raped and murdered. I did not interrupt you.
He loves those photo ops.
I did not interrupt you, and so I was polite, and I'm always respectful. So the deal is, photo op, they invited him and asked him to attend. He didn't just show up. And so that's important to say. And by the way, the Biden administration has offered, for example, Joe Biden and the Biden administration had wanted to attend the funeral of Corey Comparator here in Pennsylvania, and his widow declined. But these are invitations. You know what, Jimmy? I'm sorry, I have to mute him because, I allowed you to interrupt me the first time. I did not. I don't interrupt. I'm really respectful. I believe in the conversation.
He's gone.
I really do.
He's gone. It wasn't even what he wanted to say. He said he was looking forward to the Trump rally, is what he said to me. And then they got to call and switch up. Let me just interrupt the host.
But here's the thing. It's okay. I mean, Jimmy, it's okay that, if people, whatever, if they want to say their piece, but I'm listening and I let them finish the sentence, and I'm polite and I'm respectful. And so these are individuals who are, and I don't know if they're paid or I don't know who they are, whatever. That's fine. I'm glad you're listening. But, I'll go through again and I'll look again. I did repost some. I didn't see something, but I will really look again because I'm objective and I'm perfectly willing to look at that, but just don't interrupt. I don't interrupt you. And I hope that these two different individuals, I hope that they don't treat the women, since you want to talk about women, I hope they don't interrupt their coworkers, but especially women.
I just asked the question again. Why do these psychopaths have clear signals on their phone? What is it? Where do you get your phone that you have a clear signal?
And I'm not calling anybody a psychopath. I believe in the conversation.
Where do you get your phone, please? Where do you get your phone? I just want to know.
Let's get to Joe. Let's ask Joe.
Yeah,
Does Joe have a good signal? Hey, Joe.
Hey, Dawn, you have more class and patience than some of these people ever will deserve. And what I want to say is, and I know you got to agree, you will agree with me, there is such a distinct difference in personality and empathy from the right than there is from the left. It's palpable on the left. And I'll give you an example. Anybody could say I'm swayed, but you have a host on Saturday who obviously leans to the left. And I was listening to him in all my errands I was running. And he was getting some good debates from the right. Mm-hmm. Nobody had to disrespect the gentleman, and including me. I called him up, and I caught him in a lie, and I let him lie. I didn't say that you're full of it, that's inaccurate, but he did. He exercised. He did something that was very, very. It wasn't true.
Spanking machine for him.
It's about the oil that's being generated in this country. And it was totally inaccurate. I didn't say that. I moved on, and I was, I was going his path.
Yeah.
But we have no reason to disrespect that. We've been asking for debates for a long time. Yes. They come out and they attack.
Yeah.
And
it's emotional.
Ridiculous.
It's all emotional.
Yeah, it is. It's more visceral than it is intellectual.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Joe. And the truth of the matter is that I don't hate anybody. That's why I always say I welcome the conversation. I'm respectful.
No.
I love diversity of thought.
And you know what, Dawn? These last two guests had any ounce of empathy in them, they would not have accused Trump of doing a photo op. They would have considered, not agreed, but maybe considered that Trump's feeling pain for these families.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe. But no, they got to say it's a photo op. Like you're in the guy's head. You know, if anybody were to do that to them, they would be read the riot act.
So true. I got to take a quick break. Thank you, Joe. I'm right around the corner. We'll take more of your calls, and we do have some developing stories. Great guests, as we'll talk about 11:20. We'll get into this new study. I actually texted this to my husband, Larry, this morning. I thought, oh, my goodness, this is concerning. We'll get to it. So much breaking. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've heard me talk over the years a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. So just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
Roofing or siding issues? Don't wait. Call Emmons Roofing and Siding.
We provide comprehensive roofing and siding services with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction. And our warranties ensure peace of mind for you and your family.
Protect your home with the best warranties available in the industry.
Call Emmons at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
So we had a couple callers who were talking about, these terrible posts from Donald J. Trump. Insane posts from the wee hours of the morning. By the way, first of all, I get up at that hour. I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So he says, well, why is he? He's a crazy person because he's up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm up. Many of you are up. Many of you are. That's why you're listening to Kale and Company right at 6 o'clock in the morning, because you're up at 3 and 4 a.m. But I think my favorite crazy post, and this was 9 hours ago, and this shows, this for sure proves how insane Donald J. Trump is. And by the way, this is, I think this was on TikTok, and then he reposted it. But it's Donald J. Trump posts from his Truth Social. So this is a lady whose first name is Alveda. I'll give you her full name in just a moment. But do we have Dr. Alveda King? Let's listen to this insane reposting by Donald J. Trump.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, with eyes and heart wide open, we are praying today. I'm praying for my friend, President Donald John Trump. I'm praying that as he prays and trusts in you, dear God, with all of his heart, many will join him in prayer. We pray that President Trump walks in the authority that God gives to him. We pray for his wisdom, clarity, and divine guidance. We pray that all political chatter about President Trump will cease. We pray for advisors with humility and godly wisdom to surround him so that he can hear and obey your voice, Father God. We pray today for America, that we keep our armor on and that America will return to God. We pray that God will have mercy on our souls and that as we humble ourselves and pray and turn from our wicked ways, you will hear from heaven, dear God. Forgive our sins and heal our land. In Jesus' name, by the power of your Holy Spirit. Amen.
What a beautiful prayer. And what a great way to start out the morning for Trump Daily Post. And I guess he had posted it on his own social media platform and on True Social, and then it was reposted under that one. But, this is somebody who is, I believe, the niece of the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Alveda King. What a beautiful prayer. And so soft-spoken, but so strong. And the niece of course, our late, great civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. To me, I just think, I guess they didn't see that one. They missed that one. 855-839-1210. And Henry is pulling these up. So Henry is going to continue, Henry and Jimmy, they're going to continue to pull some of these, these insane, outlandish Trump posts. Do you have another one, Henry?
Yeah, you want the Democrat voting for Trump? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
That's not good.
All right. Go ahead. Let's hear one more.
So you're a Democrat, but you're choosing to vote for Trump this election?
Yes, without question. Both as a Jew and also as a gay man. I'm an activist. I led the opposition to Anita Bryant and Jerry Falwell. I know where Biden is at. I'm not there to support men having babies and homos for Hamas and trans men taking over women's sports. Why don't you form your own league, go international, go Olympic, Disney will pay for it. Why do you have to beat up on the women's community? I don't understand what's going on anymore. The whole thing is out of control. And what does the White House do? They just keep on kissing everyone's behind. That goes with their policy. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
It is unacceptable. Did you support Biden last election?
Nope. Ripping us off. And when you rip us off, you're ripping off Christianity, you're ripping off Islam, you're ripping off everybody. What is your point, Biden? I can't even explain it anymore. I'm so angry.
I'm so angry too. That's why we're out here doing this. One last thing I want to say about, though, is this is a gay man, Democrat. He's choosing to support Trump in 2024. That's right?
That's it. And not only that, I made bumper stickers that say Trump.
So now we know maybe this is what's triggering all these callers suddenly this Monday morning as they're furious. What? That guy is speaking out? Shame on him. This is outlandish. 855-839-1210. Mike is in Philadelphia. Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Dawn.
Morning.
I can't express how upsetting it is to me, these people calling in and, I don't care if you don't like Donald Trump. Do you think that Kamala, the leopard, is going to change her spots? It's not going to happen. I mean, if you're that high and mighty, you're going to sit home and on your hands and not vote and let this person become president of the United States? Are you kidding me? You get what you deserve. It's horrible. I can't wrap my head around why people would even think about going that way. And I'm talking about if you're a lifelong Democrat. I mean, Just look at the record here. It's incredible. Look where we are now and look where we were when Trump was in office. And again, whether you like him or not, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just it. The fact that he chose, I keep saying that to people. I say, he's a one-termer. He's running for the future because he's going to be in one term. And so that alters the course for, in my humble opinion, for this party, but also for the Democrats. Because if the Democrats are given a message, like in Philadelphia, Sherelle Parker, her victory gave, if Democrats are given a message that they need to push the reset button and make some in-flight adjustments, and a Tulsi Gabbard type, does she then go back to the more traditional? And so I think that's what we're seeing, that the reset button is being pushed.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so.
Hope and
pray. Because I'm one of the people that are worried.
Yeah. I know.
I didn't think Trump was going to lose to Biden, but we see how that went. So,
yeah.
But, well, God bless us all.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Let's get to Andy in New Jersey. Hey, Andy.
Good morning, Dawn.
Morning.
I will be voting for President Trump, and most of my family will, not because of his inane, goofy, weird, inconsistent comments, but for his policies. His policies just make sense, and they reflect my values. I know where he stands. He doesn't change day to day, and I feel comfortable with him. And if somebody like Greg Stocker doesn't like the personality of Joe Biden, that's what's disturbing, because he gets to see up close the different people that are running for office. And if he thinks that somebody's crazy comments are enough to keep me from voting for him, that's disturbing.
Yeah, it's so true. I appreciate it. Big Al in Mullica Hill. Hey, Big Al.
Hey, Dawn, how you doing?
Good.
First of all, I don't care what anybody says. 2020, there's a lot of things that you could bring up that there is proof that some of the voting was irregular. Now, I've been thinking about what the Democrats are going to do now, because I know they're going to have something up their sleeves. And I was just watching Newsmax a couple of days ago, and there was a doctor on there blowing the whistle saying that the Democrats want doctors to be able to register people to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And she said how it's going to go is when they have illegals come in, they have all the information on the illegals. They'll just push a button and register them, and no one will know whether they're illegals or citizens. And she said also, if they don't like the way that you're registering, there's been cases of people being misdiagnosed. How do you like that? And now this is from a doctor.
Crazy.
I saw it on Newsmax about 2 or 3 days ago, and this is what they're going to do. Kamala Harris, I don't think she's going to do the debate with Trump until after Marshawn gives his sentencing, because after they sentence Trump to either jail or house arrest, then they have another reason, just to go against Trump. The New York case is a joke. I wish we had a way of making the press actually report the facts instead of all this nonsense that they're reporting just to make the guy look bad.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, I thank you. Thank you for the call. I don't know here's what I will say about Pennsylvania, just because I'm going through with teenagers and I'm at DMV, spending an inordinate amount of time at DMV, with the driver's permit and the driver's license and all of that stuff. They, at least at our DMV, they did require a birth certificate, I think 2 forms of ID, but it was for sure, we had, in a big Ziploc baggie, the birth certificate, and we had the address, and we had the student ID, and we had all of that. And they did require it. They looked at it, and they were checking it, and they were checking everybody. So I can only report to you what we experienced, but I do continue to hear all of these reports, which are concerning. But I just will say, as far as the DMV goes, people going there, as far as getting a state ID or what have you, they have to show proof of, like a birth certificate. The only other piece that I hear, the concern is that people who are coming here illegally, first, they are signing up for things like government assistance. And then that's a pathway, allegedly, that when they're signing up for government assistance, which I think that's insane, that they're getting, all of this money and free food and free housing, which is disturbing when we think about homelessness and American citizens suffering. But that's one of the pathways, allegedly, that once they get that government assistance and those cards and those IDs, that's a way that they're then being, signing up to vote through those pathways, if you will. So but I haven't seen it firsthand. I'm only telling you what's allegedly happening. 855-839-1210, the number to call. There's so much more to talk about, so many more of your calls. We have a great interview coming up. This is important health news for you, and I hope you stick around for this, and it affects my husband. We had this conversation. But we got to talk about road trip season, because we still have one or two more good road trips that we are slated for, because it still is August, even though the weather turns fall-like even tomorrow. But do you know if your vehicle's road trip ready? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help you make sure that you and your family are safe out on the roads. The service centers for the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all your regular stuff, your regular maintenance needs, but also they're going to diagnose possible issues before they occur, before you're out on the road and then stranded somewhere. So just schedule that service appointment online, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, and you're going to find that dealer nearest you, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Get ready for our Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. Everyone is talking about it. Be with me on September 12th as we talk about the election, politics, and all things Trump. It's huge. Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. September 12th, Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
You have key decisions to make about your money. Most investors don't beat the market, and neither do the hedge funds, who take a share of your profits. What if there was another way? A way for you to keep total control over your money where the interests were aligned. That's what the exclusive crash-proof retirement system is all about.
Mike Bisaccia from Logan Township, New Jersey. You can't follow the market because nobody can predict it. What you have today could be gone tomorrow. That's the way it works, up and down, and your money goes up and down. That's what led me to see if there was another alternative. Crash-proof retirement gave me that alternative. With crash-proof retirement, the money you make is credited to your account, and that money's yours. No ifs, ands, or buts, no worries. No fees. We had a high point of 13.5%. Once it's credited, it's your money to keep. That's a big deal.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in, and you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high, it's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
Discover the 2024 Tundra at Tri-County Toyota. Right now, get $1,000 customer cash or enjoy financing starting at just 1.99% APR. Or choose the all-new 2024 Tacoma and lease for $279 per month. Or choose rates as low as 4.99% APR. We're easy to find off the Limerick exit of 422. Visit TriCountyToyota.com today for more details and experience the Tri-County difference.
At Gerhardt's Appliances, we're all about summer, so we're on the boardwalk asking you, how can we make yours better?
Oh, okay, bet. Yeah, so I've been blending up my own fruity beach balls and been having major dishes. It's like grade A granola greens.
Okay, well this Bosch dishwasher is on sale for $4.99 and they have the industry's most advanced clean.
Oh, acai. Yeah, that's a great price.
The summer sale is on, only at Gerhardt's, where small business is kind of a big deal.
Wow.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback,
Plumbers protect the health of the nation, and Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumber690.org.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
It's a brand new study out. I don't know if you've heard of it, but we want to get to this because it's quite concerning. A new study which says that there are the headline is 2 shocking new risk factors, according to a study. A link between, serious conditions such as dementia and Alzheimer's and your cholesterol levels. So if you are one of those people that has the high cholesterol, I will say that my dad would debunk this because my dad, even though his cholesterol's in check, and he's, as you know, pushing 90 and sharp as a tack, but he's somebody who was always told he had a higher level of that good, so-called good cholesterol, but it's still in check. But that's very concerning, and also untreated vision loss, as well as these high levels of LDL cholesterol have been linked to a greater chance of developing some type of dementia and even Alzheimer's. Low density, the LDL, sometimes called the bad cholesterol, that's associated with negative health effects when present in the high amounts. But when you think about, these early signs of dementia, there are 17 of them. So it really creates a link between your brain health, right, and then your physical health. And that old saying, we are what we eat. We got to take care of our body, mind, body, soul. It's all connected and interconnected. And that brings in my friend Lee Richardson, who, of course, is a brain health expert. And I know, Lee, that you can speak to this as far as thinking about all these different studies that say you got to watch it, that it's interconnected. Hey, Lee.
Hey there. Well, it's amazing to me because we've known for a long time that the brain and the body are connected, but why we tend to separate them? If there's something wrong with my brain, that doesn't mean it's with my body. And the body keeps score of everything going on in your brain.
Yeah, and, Lee is the founder and clinical director of Brain Performance Center, MBA, MS, counseling, board of certifications, all of that. You run a state-of-the-art facility, but, you're also a mom and that's how the journey started for you with a child who, had a situation with a brain health injury. And so you on so many levels, you are somebody who can put all of this together for us. And sometimes, you look at these studies and so much goes over my head because it's all clinical jargon and all of that. But essentially for people looking at something like this, and I know there are something like 17 of these factors, but a lot of people, my husband's one of them, he has high cholesterol and he's a pretty healthy guy, an active guy. But this to me sounds an alarm bell to say, hey, it's evidence, right? That, you got to watch that and make sure that you get the doctor's checkups and maybe get the cholesterol lowering stuff so that you don't, that you're not at risk for this, right?
Right. And I think a lot of it is our lifestyle choices impact so many things. What we eat impacts our LDL and anything, and I don't know where I read this, but if it's good for the heart, it's good for the brain. And I believe that. And when you think about the biggest concern with your cholesterol is your heart. So it makes common sense to me that there should be a big concern about your brain.
Well, it's very true. And do you think part of it, to me, I think part of this is even the foods that are labeled in America as so-called healthy, are even a lot of the ingredients are banned in other countries, like in Europe and so on, and not just Europe, Africa, all through Europe. I was in Italy. This was a big topic for discussion. But to watch the processed foods.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Because my rule is if I can't pronounce the words that are on the back of the box or the can or the wrapper, then I don't put it in my mouth. Because some of them, when you read a label, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is that?
Yes.
Where did it come from? And it right there, stop. Don't eat it.
Get rid of it. Sometimes for me, I just bring it to our lunchroom. It disappears in a second. I'll just bring it, put it in the lunchroom. Get done with it. For sure. But I also think when you talk about healing and thinking about that aspect of it, when we think about nutrients and healing, that's another piece of it. I think if you're suffering with that high cholesterol, for example, it makes brain healing or any kind of healing tougher.
Well, I think you're right. And now, we're looking to the future and we're looking at food as medicine. And that's where I think some of our simple answers lie. I think we've tried to depend on pharmacological compounds to be our medicine. Mm-hmm. And when they work, that's great. But they don't always work for everybody. And I think that we're looking back to make it simple. What are your basics? And food, as you said, when you open the show, you are what you eat.
Yeah. Well, and you are what you eat. Maybe you are what you're consuming on social media, which brings me to the other study that we're going to talk about. 3 in 4 Gen Z Americans are putting the blame on social media for having a negative impact on their mental health. I'm not shocked by this, but it's a new study that creates evidence for that.
Well, I'm not shocked either, but I am shocked that even though they acknowledge that, they continue to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that's the question.
Some of them do it out of boredom. Some of them do it because they want to laugh. Some of them want to do it because they want to keep up with their friends. Well, I think it goes back to the COVID days, to FOMO. I think they're afraid of missing out. And when you know that you're doing something that's bad for you and you continue to do it, that raises the question to me, are we starting to touch on an addiction?
Do you mean a social media addiction?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of it. All of these different medications that are relatively new on the market, the Ozempic, and I forget all their names of these injectables that tout the weight loss, but supposedly some of them deal with addictions. And would part of that be psychological addictions like social media?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, addiction is a brain disease. And anytime the brain does something and, I like that, then the brain will start to kick out that dopamine. And dopamine is a neurotransmitter, and it's a really feel-good neurotransmitter. So, I like that, and that dopamine kicks out. Well, then those little neurons and dendrites, they get confused, and it goes from I like that to I want that. I want that. Mm-hmm. More dopamine gets kicked out, and then it gets to that point where I need that. I need to check my social media. And then there again, that puts the brain in an unbalanced state.
Yeah, so, from a positive standpoint, when you think about somebody who's getting out, I think of exercise. During the pandemic, which you mentioned, like here in Pennsylvania, we had among the strictest shutdowns and rules in the nation. And a lot of people just getting back into it as far as their routine. Even simple things like going for your routine walk or going to a gym, which a lot of people shut off their gym memberships. Is that something where you're seeing as far as brain health and healing that is something that we're getting back to?
I hope so, because the brain loves to move, and the brain needs movement. And anytime you're exercising, you're releasing endorphins, and those endorphins make you feel good. And I think that, it's amazing how with the shutdown and COVID, we all shut down on different levels. Mm-hmm. And I know churches still aren't back to normal.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier just to stay at home and participate. So I hope that we begin to see the beauty of engagement And whether you walk by yourself or walk with a friend or walk with your dog, some of the best time I spend are walking my 2 dogs. They actually listen when I talk. But I do hope that we'll get back to understanding the physical, because if you don't exercise, that impacts your weight, both in physical inactivity, obesity, both of those are related to our earlier conversation, dementia.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, Lee Richardson, thank you so much. We love your insights and your calm voice. I get a lot of reaction. I love Lee's voice. You're so soothing. But Lee Richardson, a brain health coach, consultant, Lee Richardson, obviously PhD now, so congratulations on that with the Brain Performance Center. And people can always find you at Lee, the little @ thebrainperformancecenter.com to learn more. But Lee Richards, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Lee Richardson. Again, it's Lee, Leigh, at thebrainperformancecenter.com. And then her site is actually leerichardson.com as well. You know, I saw another one that I found was interesting, and it said, because sometimes I go out and I'm like, why didn't I wear gloves when I go out and working in the yard? I saw this study that said that actually when you go out and you're working with your hands, especially if you're in the soil, maybe you're somebody you work with your hands on a daily basis, and people will wonder why you don't wear gloves. There's actually some primitive, and they've done scientific studies, but it's actually your hands in especially soil or getting dirty that raises your serotonin levels in your brain. I don't know if you had heard of that one, but do you find that the people say, why aren't you wearing gloves when you work in the yard? Or maybe you're just somebody who's physically, you're working a lot and you don't like to wear those gloves. There are scientific reasons why people don't like to wear gloves, because they want to get that serotonin boost. So it's kind of a primitive thing that science has proved. 855-839-1210. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Monday, more rain possible with a high of 84. And on Tuesday, we're only going to get up to 75.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield. My great friend Roy is looking for help. A handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. Great low-pressure part-time job. Customer service is the key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. Be part of the team. They power it, they light it, they fix it. Roy says tell them all the time, we fix things, phones and all of that. Give them a call at 856-638-0778. Batteries Plus Bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home. All done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
We have time. We'll get to some of those other insane social media posts by one Donald J. Trump or his team. But just to wrap up this study, and it was printed in the Lancet. By the way, the Alzheimer's Association meeting was here in Philadelphia, so a lot of Philadelphia doctors talking about this and how important it is. Your heart health, yes, as Lee Richardson rightly said, is directly related to your brain health, and thinking about fighting things like dementia or fighting things like Alzheimer's now depends on as well your eye health, in other words, eyesight. And like I said, the other one was your cholesterol levels, keeping the cholesterol down, eating healthier, getting out there, being active. And some of the usual suspects like smoking, things of that nature, they've always been on the list. If you're a heavy smoker, that can in fact lead to multiple things, including a much greater risk of dementia or Alzheimer's. But I think that the eye vision loss or the eye health, and then the other one as far as cholesterol, those are newer ones that have been determined to determine whether or not and greatly increase your risk for dementia or Alzheimer's. One more reason that we've all got to take care of ourselves. And if you're like me, Larry and I both put off, like we're lucky, we're blessed that we're so healthy, but we both put off like all of the like standard testing, your regular doctor's appointments. Our doctor, University of Pennsylvania group, he retired because he couldn't find office staff. I mean, and I have so many people saying that. Even when recently I had the dental emergency, which I've never had in my life, my dentist I discovered during the pandemic, they can't find any office help, so they retired. They all left.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people. Either it's like that or just like, you know what, I don't feel like doing it anymore.
Yeah, not going to do it.
So it's a mass exodus.
Go into specialty. So thank God for, my connection through Dom with Dr. Bentz and Dr. Sarah, and they really saved me. I mean, that was like unbelievable. Thank God that I knew somebody, but a lot of times you don't know somebody. So it's all interconnected, as we say. 855-839-1210. Let's get to, is this Carol? Let's see. Carol is on the main line. Hey, Carol.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling.
I'm calling just to say something about having your hands in the dirt. I'm a nurse, and I was going to school to get my degree. My kids were little, and I used to go out at nighttime and go dig in the dirt with my bare hands and put my papers in the dirt with them and read everything while I was doing it. And I passed all my tests and passed the board. So I really think it was putting my paws in the dirt. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I love it. A girl after my own heart.
That's why you're down to earth. You're down to earth. The nails look like Nick, but oh well.
Yeah, I know. I won't even show.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Carol. I know I tease my husband, Larry Bear. I'm like, Look at his hands. Look at my hands. But I know I need to get my nails done. But it's because I've got my hands in the dirt. I love to garden. I love to work in the yard. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Let's get to this Dennis in Bucks County. Hey, Dennis.
Hi, Dawn. Hey, remember when President Trump talked about that girl that was murdered by a migrant, Ruby Garcia in Michigan? And Trump said he called the family, but then the family came out and said that never happened and he did not call. Why does Trump lie like that?
You know what? And here's another one of our callers saying this. I don't remember that one in particular. I'll look it up. I think that he got calls from Laken Riley's family, from Jocelyn Nunn-Gary's family, from the mom in Maryland, from her family. I know, but why do you lie about that one? You know what? I will fact check it for you. I will just respectfully say I don't remember. It was a Michigan story, so I'll have to check it. And if he misspoke,
Ruby Garcia.
So if he misspoke, maybe he misspoke. In most of these cases, I will say to you that unfortunately, so many of these people, for whatever reason, usually have reached out to him personally, and it meant a lot to them, much like with Corey Comparator, his family.
Doesn't he?
I didn't interrupt you, and I'm just respectfully saying, please don't interrupt me. Honestly, so I know that you're all excited and you're waiting on a hold to just get in a snarky, whatever comment. That's not me. I'm not here to get a zinger or be snarky. I genuinely want to have a conversation. And if somebody misspeaks, and whether it's Trump or you or me or any of us, then okay, let's point that out and say, okay, somebody misspoke. We'll try to find out why that happened. But by the same token, I will say, if you misspeak if you get a call from, I don't know, a dozen different families, and you tragically go to the funeral at the request of the family, then because there was one that you conflated tragically with this, does that make you a liar? Does it make you a liar if you misspeak? I will just say that, and I will propose that to you, that it does not make somebody a liar if tragically they're going to way too many of these funerals. I will say this as well, that there were some of these funerals where Trump, you did not see video of him. He went in, he met with a family, he went to a funeral. He did not even divulge the day of, because there's a fine line between something that somebody said earlier, between, a quote unquote photo op and genuinely being asked by a family of a child or a loved one. Dawn. And here we go again. You're going to interrupt me again. Do you interrupt I will just ask you, do you interrupt, I don't know, your significant other or people in your life like that? Is that something that you do?
I'm just complimenting your jokes. They're funny. Your jokes are funny. That's all I was saying.
Are you okay? Are you? Because you sound really uptight.
Like
I know I'm being genuine. Are you okay? Because I want to make sure that you're okay.
I'm fine. Which do you like better, the Medal of Honor or the Medal of Freedom? Which is your favorite one? I don't really like the Medal of Honor because those guys are all shot up or dead.
Oh my gosh. You know what, Dennis? I hope you have a blessed day. I hope that you shake off some of that negative energy, because you sound really uptight and you sound really negative. And honest to God, I've had people, offline and say, hey, thanks for, care. I really worry. I do. I worry about some people who are so negative and so uptight. And I worry about what they may do either to themselves or to others, because it's not okay. That's not okay. If you're not okay, then I'm not okay with that. I want you to be well. And nobody should be that, nasty or snarky or whatever the word is, uptight over a political situation, right? We should all have the conversation. And at the end of the day, we should remember how blessed we are as Americans. We are blessed. And at the end of the day, I hope on November 6th, no matter what happens, that number one, on November 5th, you vote. And number two, that you're not filled with that kind of negativity and anger and angst as Dennis just was. That's not a good thing. I just got done reporting on all these health issues for people and talking to the great Lee Richardson. By the way, you'll notice I never talk politics with Lee. I have no idea what her politics is, by the way. We just really talk about health because it's important to think about that aspect, just being healthy. And part of being healthy is being able to have a high-quality conversation where we listen, where we engage, where we're respectful. And you know what? We may learn something. I learn something new every single day. 855-839-1210. Can I take one more? What about Bernie in Tacony? Hey, Bernie.
Hi, I had to get on that guy to last. He's like, well, he didn't call. It's like, well, I've called 1210. Just because I didn't get through doesn't mean I didn't call. Trump could have called and not gotten through. Yeah. And these people, they love to interrupt you because what they're trying to do is get you off the train of thought. And what got me is, oh, we had a photo op. Oh, he didn't really call. But they're not worried about what these illegals are doing. I wanted to say, you do know that that person's loved one was killed by illegal. Mm-hmm. 5 kids are without a mother. Yeah. That poor girl in New York. That poor 12-year-old that got raped, murdered, and thrown in a river in Texas. But he's worried about Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. And
see, I go at these people with, I'd like to quote Sergeant Al Powell from Die Hard. You need to be listening to what you're shoveling.
Yeah, and it's true. There's such apathy to have a discussion about, somebody who's a former president who was invited to the funerals by family members who are grieving, and they want him to be there for their own reasons, for their own healing, but also, no doubt, they want to shine a light on what has happened to their child, their wife, their loved one. These are horrible. You're right. These are horrible crimes. And the fact that it's notable that they're being committed by individuals who were arrested and they put an ankle bracelet, what have you, and then they were re-released. So in truth, whether it's somebody who's here illegally and they let them go, or whether they're here legally as a citizen, either one I have a problem with. But the fact that we have this repeated problem with people here illegally who, by the way, first and foremost, they're preying upon the immigrant community. Let us not forget that one. But I really appreciate your kind words, and I appreciate your positive energy and your prayer.
Oh, can I give you a funny one real quick?
Sure.
I saw this at my favorite coffee, and they're trying donut shop. They're trying to get you to get coffee besides the donuts. And I'll word it verbatim, except add one thing. Drink Harris coffee. Do stupid things faster with more energy.
Now, that's just silly. It's just funny. Hopefully everybody can laugh about that one. Thank you. Thanks a million. You made my day. Appreciate it. By the way, the U.S. House Committee on the Judiciary, of course, chaired by Republican Congressman Jim Jordan, they have talked about, and they're using the case of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley and the illegal individual, the undocumented individual accused of killing her, as an example of some of these immigration policies that are such a problem. But they're looking into all of those and documenting them, and that's so important. 855-839-1210, the number. I have to take a quick break. Be right back.
This week, all eyes are on Chicago for the Democratic National Convention, and Rich Zeoli is there.
While our economy is doing well by many measures, prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high.
Listen this afternoon, 3 till 7, for the latest news, excitement, and drama as it unfolds. Rich Zeoli, live from the Democratic National Convention. This afternoon, 3 till 7, only on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a 7th-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. We have something a little different for you. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. Trust me, I have NFL Sunday Ticket for YouTube TV. You get picture-in-picture, so you can watch multiple games. If you have a little skin in the game, it makes it that much more impressive. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, 21 and over, present in PA. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after the free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
40 days to lose up to 40-plus pounds with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep it off. Call Dr. T, 855-5NJ-DIET, or go to njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds, 40 days up to 40 pounds, NJ Diet.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Updating for you the story of Ruby Garcia, a 25-year-old young woman from Grand Rapids, Michigan, who was murdered by the alleged killer, Brandon Ortiz Vite. He was, in court appearances, he has reportedly confessed to shooting her to death. And one of the motives reportedly was that she had threatened him to say that she was going to tell on him, or that he was concerned that he was an illegal person. And so that was an update on that story. Again, the person who called in about it didn't seem to note that this beautiful young lady, 25 years young, was murdered, and that the man here illegally confessed to murdering her. That, according to the police there in Michigan. Her sister had spoken out, just to clarify that. Her sister had tragically, spoken out about her sister murdered, and the sister had said, well, I never spoke to him. I never knew of that. Apparently, there are others who said that they did indeed describe her to Trump, and that's why at a rally he was talking about her contagious laugh and quoting some of the family members what they wanted to convey. So I don't believe he just lied. I think that he just didn't talk to the sister or maybe her mom, but talk to other family members. Either way you look at it, 25-year-old young lady, her life taken from her by this individual who now, according to authorities, has confessed to her murder. And that's really the bottom line on this type of crime and why it hits home across the nation and across so many communities. I apologize. We have a lit up board, and I apologize to so many of you, especially Terry, who wanted to comment about being visually impaired and the latest studies. But to so many of you, thank you so much for your positive energy, for your love, for your joy, and for knowing that we are blessed to be Americans and to be well-educated voters and to have the opportunity to become a well-educated voter. So I hope for you that you just continue to search for the truth and seek and ye shall find, as we say. I want to get to Dom Giordano a little bit early here because Dom has an incredible interview among many for a great Dom show this Monday morning for you, a real treat. Hey, Dom, I know you have J.D. Vance coming right up.
Yes, Dawn, right at the top with J.D. Vance, who's in town at a waste management company. I'm not making it up. You can imagine if it were Trump at a waste management company, stuff that we would glean from that. And I think Vance has found his voice because Walls and the military thing has allowed J.D. to actually show what he has versus just the attacks that are out there.
Look forward to